If you would, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Ms. Barrow?
Here.
Ms. Bodiford?
Here.
Mr. Chappell?
Here.
Mr. Haney?
Here.
Mayor Kelly?
Yes, here, thank you. Mr. Sloan, do we have any homework we need to take care of before we get started?
Yes, sir. There's one item on the agenda, and before you actually get into a public hearing on this item, we need to go on the record. Since this is a quasi-judicial proceeding, you need to go on the record, and each council member, if they've had any conversations with the applicant, would have to disclose that on the record, just so that we have it on there prior to taking any testimony. Then once that process is completed, then the clerk will need to swear in any persons who are going to testify in connection with this this application. And at that point, then I would suggest you call on the applicant to testify to what he's requesting.
Okay.
And then the citizens can testify.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sloan. I will tell the council and the people in the audience and anybody listening to this recording, I, over the last 12 months, have had contact with the owners of the hotel. Excellent conversation back and forth, inviting them to come to Parker at any time to build their hotel and participate in anything we could participate in. And if you have any other questions for me, I guess feel free to ask.
Sir, you just have to make that disclosure.
That is my disclosure.
That doesn't dictate how you're going to vote, but it simply was a dialogue between you and the owner.
That is correct. That's all I have.
Anyone else have any conversations with the applicant?
I asked him if there was gonna be fireplaces in the suites, he said no.
No.
I was a little disappointed.
All right. Having said that, if that's all the disclosures we need to make, then anyone who plans to testify in this hearing will need to be sworn in. So if you all, whoever's going to testify, if you'll stand and raise your right hand, the clerk will swear you in.
Do you affirm and swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Mayor, if you want to encourage him to come to the podium. And
I would,
let's
sir,
call
if
him
you
in.
would, we'd like to record your name and address and stand at the podium while you give your testimony.
Sure.
It's recorded for the record. Your name and address, sir.
My name is John Bianco, and my address, well, the project address
Yeah.
is 938 South Tyndall. And we're here today to request approval from the city council to move forward with the development of our proposed hotel project. Just to
Excellent.
give a little background on the project, we've been working on this since the beginning of this year. It's a 124 unit, 4-story Marriott Studio Res, which is a new brand concept for Marriott. We're a preferred developer of Marriott, and one of the few developers that have pledged to move forward with this brand concept. And so, through our analytics research, we determined that Parker is a good location for us to put one of the first of these that Noble is going to be building. We have a program that we're looking to put probably 50 of these in the Southeast and Midwest in the next 3 to 5 years, and this will be one of the first 5 that we get under construction later this year. We have, as you guys have seen in our submittal package, we have completed our civil design on the project, which is a footprint along with all of our utility, paving, drainage plans, erosion control drawings that have been submitted to Parker, to the Florida DOT, and to the Northwest Florida Water Management District. We've received comments, addressed comments, and gotten approvals or conditional approvals from all of those agencies, and got a recommendation from the Planning Commission a couple of weeks ago. So, we're really excited about this project. We've got it slated for a second quarter construction start, and once we obtain our approval, hopefully today, we'll be able to move into our full architectural design portion of that of that phase of the project, and then move forward with bidding to contractors and formalizing those contracts and getting started.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Sloan?
Mayor, as the applicant said, the packet is before you from the engineer. The one unique aspect of this particular development is that given the location of the sewer system of Parker versus the sewer system of Callaway, that this applicant would actually be tying into Callaway sewer and not Parker's sewer.
Correct.
Because it would require a manhole and a lift station and some other things. So Tony is aware of this, and in discussions with the utilities director, it's come to my attention that we don't have a formal agreement with Callaway relative to connections, whether it's this connection with the Marriott or other connections, because apparently there are some 124 or 129 connections that Callaway has made to the Parker system that we were unaware of. And so I suggest whatever you all decide, if you decide to move forward with this, that your motion to approve the development order be conditioned upon the execution of an agreement between Parker and Callaway relative to the sewer, and also would contain the standard conditions that you all include in any development order.
Okay. Council, you have your packages before you. Do we have any discussion, any questions?
How big of an issue is it to hook to another municipality's sewer system?
Well, apparently it has gone on for some time.
Decades, apparently.
Yeah, and we, at least Tony was unaware of it until he was, he filed a public records request with Callaway and determined, based upon that public records request, that there were, as I say, 124, 129 connections that had been made to the Parker sewer by Callaway. And so it's time to formalize that in an agreement, and that's what I'm proposing as a part of this, that you would obviously need to have an agreement with Callaway relative to not only the Marriott, but also to deal with the existing connections. Tony and the Callaway Public Works folks have had discussions, and it, at least at this point, it was going to be essentially a wash with the number of units the Marriott was proposing to go to Callaway versus how many units Callaway was bringing to Parker. So, but because of the fact that it has gone on for years and that Parker was not aware of that situation, and because the applicant is requesting to connect to Callaway sewer, I believe it'd be prudent for us to have an agreement with Callaway relative to all of those connections, and also to look at the future as far as if additional applicants want to connect to Parker sewer that are in Callaway or vice versa, how we deal with that. Because as you know, you have a limited capacity in the current sewer system of, I believe, 699,000 gallons. So you have to know where that capacity is going and be able to address it.
Sounds like an eye for an eye kind of issue.
Well, as far as the numbers with this particular applicant, yes, it's roughly an eye for an eye as far as numbers, but we need to address the bigger picture.
Yes.
I think it's fair to say, John, that in the past, there wasn't enough growth to even really care how much they used because we had so much space.
Right.
But that's going to no longer be the case as we move for the future, and more construction starts to happen on the Parkway. There's these folks here, they're obviously a professional organization. They're ready to move forward with this, and this should not stop us today in getting this taken care of.
No, I have spoken with their attorney, and I believe, and she can speak for herself, that they're understanding that there needs to be an agreement relative to the sewer, but that
Correct.
if your motion includes that would be a condition, however, ultimately then the development order would issue upon the signing of that agreement.
Right.
Well, I will make a motion to approve the DO
Yep.
with the proper agreement with the city of Callaway.
Thank you.
And the standard conditions.
Yep.
Correct.
Oh,
Good.
Go for it, Ms. Barrow. We have a first and a second. Madam Clerk, will you call a roll?
Ms. Barrow,
Yes.
Ms. Botiford,
Yes.
Mr. Chapel,
Yes.
Mr. Haney,
Yes.
and Mayor Kelly.
Yes, thank you very much. Excellent.
Thank you guys
sir.
very much.
Make us a pretty hotel.
We certainly
We all
will.
We all get free rooms for a week, right?
We can work something out, I'm
Right,
sure.
Thank
Hold you to it.
That's the only item on this
Yeah.
agenda, Mayor.
Mr. Chapel, you have anything you'd like to talk about? We have another meeting at 5:01, but this might be the time to talk about anything you want to talk about.
I didn't catch what you said.
Mr. Crawford, do you have anything you want to add?
No. I was just looking at the picture, and it, the picture indicates that they're not gonna tear down the wood area. They're gonna be on the other side of the wood area.
I think that's just an artist's rendition there. That'll be, I'm sure it'll be all brand new, every bit of it when they,
You're gonna be between the church and, where the wood area is, right? That spot in there?
oh, you mean wood by the, you mean like the lumber yard,
No, on the corner there,
where the bonfire is immediately behind it.
yeah. You got that wooded area.
Yeah, that's where it's at. And I don't know how much of that'll stay, probably none of it. I mean, their engineers are gonna do what they gotta do to get it where they want it to start building, but, okay. Mr. Haney?
I have nothing, sir.
All right, sir. Ms. Barrow? Ms. Botiford? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much.